Hello and welcome back to another episode of Injustice For All MMA. My name is David, and this episode is for UFC Fight Night, Gane V Spivac. The French crowd was incredible. They were loud. The only thing that comes to mind when I think of the French crowd is how terrible the other international crowds have been. I mean, after the first O2 crowd that we had, I don't know if it was last year or this year. Last year was incredible. The O2 crowd, they were wild. And then the UFC came back two more times, I believe, and they basically just slowly became shitty. The Brazil crowd, they sucked. They're one of the worst crowds of the year. And then the French crowd, I think it's a year ago, I believe also. A year ago, they were incredible. And then this year, it might be in the same year, but whatever. They were incredible this year as well. And beyond that point, we get straight to the fight. So that's the intro. I don't fucking know. Listen. We're going to start off with the first honorable mention. There are no injustices. Nobody got robbed. Nobody got robbed. I was skimming online and I saw that Jamal Hill said that Rose got robbed. Wild. It's a wild thing. The comments are funny. The comments are hilarious. But no one got robbed on this card. There were some interesting scorecards though. And we'll start off with the first one. So, Cornolle is the pronunciation. Cornolle versus Edwards. I had this 29-28 for Cornolle. I gave the first round to Cornolle and the last round to Cornolle. A close marker on the first round. First round is deceptively close. I don't want to say I was mad, but I was kind of like, I was very pissed off at the fact that I heard a 30-27 to Cornolle. This is whoever's, and I'll read it in a second, whoever scored a 30-27 for Cornolle, this is worse than Vegas judging. You know, Vegas judging is Vegas judging. But this is bad. At this point, you're not looking at the fight. You're just staring at Cornolle's biceps or something. You're lost in space. Okay, we're going to go through this. First round, deceptively close. Cornolle outstrikes Edwards on the feet by about 5 strikes. Let's just be honest here. She outstrikes her, but not well enough to where it's a given Cornolle round. She outstrikes her on the feet by about 5 strikes. She gets a reversal from when Edwards takes her down. And when Edwards takes her down, she's pretty much not active at all on top of her. But the only time she is active is when Cornolle gets the reversal. And Edwards lands a couple pot shots from the bottom. Very few pot shots that are kind of irrelevant. And then both of them were very active in the clinch. There's the round. It's close to toss-up-y, but I lean towards Cornolle in the fact that she outstruck her on the feet. Edwards did nothing when she was on top of Cornolle, and they were both pretty even on the feet. Or in the clinch, excuse me. And that's where you get the first round. Again, deceptively close, but whatever. You go to the second round. This round, it's insane that I heard a 30-27. This round is clear Edwards. And at the start of the night for the French in the crowd, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. At the start of the event, this crowd was so loud that in my head I was like, are they going to influence the judging? This is a fight where I think they influence the judging. Let me be clear here. Edwards gets 3 takedowns with ground and pound. I mean, legit ground, she's climbing up the fence, but still. 3 takedowns. Decent ground and pound. Cornolle gets a reversal in the last 30 seconds of the round. The crowd goes apeshit. Okay? Last 30 seconds of the round, she gets a reversal. Does nothing with it. Now, she's looking for submissions. Not only does she not get any, she doesn't land any ground and pound. So basically, she takes Edwards back and does nothing, and then the round ends. Edwards then is still active while her back is taken. So she's active when she gets the 3 takedowns, and she's active when she gets her back taken. If this was scored in the United States and anywhere, this round would go to Edwards. Clear clear. But for some reason, we go overseas and I don't know, two, is it two judges? I'll read it off in a second. Two judges were just like, you know what? Cornolle took her back. She won the round. Just stupid judging. I'm glad I didn't fuck up anything tonight, but just stupid judging. And then we go to the third round, and Cornolle outstrikes Edwards on the feet. Edwards gets a takedown with some ground and pound, but Cornolle is just super active on. She's active enough on the bottom. Edwards has a little bit of ground and pound. It's irrelevant because Cornolle outstrikes her on the feet. Most of it was really on the feet, and that's where you get the Cornolle third round. 29-28 Cornolle. You go to the judges' scorecards, and Ben Cartlidge, wild, 30-27 to Cornolle. He's really taking this damage thing to a different level. But you know what's even insane on this is that you can't even argue a damage thing here when most of the damage in round 2 was on Edwards' side. So I don't even want to hear like, oh, he's scoring it this way and that. Like that's fucking stupid. This is a stupid scorecard. Honorable mention of Ben Cartlidge. That's just shitty. And then Damian Gillespie, stupid scorecard. His scorecard reflects the same as Ben Cartlidge. And then Clemens Werner, his scorecard reflects mine, which is which, if you want to be cute, is the correct scorecard, 29-28. Now, I'm not saying that first round could go to Edwards. It's deceptively close. It could. But 29-28 Cornolle, his scorecard reflects mine, Clemens Werner. But honorable mention of Ben Cartlidge and Damian Gillespie for giving round 2 to Cornolle. I don't know what the fuck they were saying there. Next honorable mention, you go Loosa McKee. This is another deceptively close fight. It's insane. I had this 29-28 for Loosa. In the first two rounds I gave to Loosa. Close marker on the first round. Last round I gave to McKee. That's obviously for McKee. But first round I gave to Loosa. You start off in the first round. McKee barely outstrikes Loosa on the feet. Now, here's how it goes, right? Loosa's outstriking him on the feet, gets this huge flurry, and then the remaining 3 minutes of the fight is Loosa maybe landing 3 strikes in total, 5 strikes in total, while McKee just slowly chips away for the rest of the round. It's deceptively weird. Loosa basically just doesn't throw. He pulls a span. He pulls a Ryan span, where he just stops striking. And McKee just outstrikes him on the feet for the round. The thing that gives Loosa this round is I believe there's a takedown in this first round with some ground and pound, and that sets him clear from McKee. But I put a close marker there just to be safe, just in case, maybe there's an argument there, but whatever. You go to the second round, boom. Loosa outstrikes McKee on the feet, and he has a takedown he has 3 takedowns with ground and pound. Now he's outstriking him. Okay, up until the part where in the middle of the round, boom, he just goes in this quick flurry and just unleashes maybe I want to say 20 strikes in the span of like 10 seconds on McKee, and that kind of makes it, and that kind of distances himself from McKee. Also, again, he has 3 takedowns with ground and pound. You go to the third round. McKee outstrikes Loosa on the feet. Basically, it's pretty close on the feet up until Loosa gets 2 takedowns with ground and pound at the start of the round. But then McKee catches him with something, and he just goes on a barrage that pretty much stuns Loosa and McKee outstrikes Loosa on the feet basically to the end of the round, and that gives McKee the round clear. I mean, we've seen this sequence before where he's losing and then he just puts it on him towards the end, and that's McKee's round. Deceptively close. You can maybe, someone could argue the first for McKee. I've seen maybe a judge could do that, but I don't think they would. But again, 29-28, Loosa, you go to the judges' scorecards, and you have Christoph Capoose. He has 30-27. 30-27. Now, in my head, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm not actually going to get mad at this 30-27 because in that last round, yes, Loosa is winning, and then there's that flurry from McKee that kind of that signifies that he wins that last round. But I'm still going to give an honorable mention here. Honorable mention to Christoph Capoose for the last round he gives to Loosa. And then David Letheby and Daryl Ransom, their scorecards reflect mine, 29-28 to Loosa. You go to the next honorable mention. Okay, we're on to the next honorable mention, and that's Gomis versus Ghemmouri. I'm going to say Ghemmouri. Gomis versus Ghemmouri. This fight was boring. Every fight Gomis is in is pretty much boring because he just touch. After the first fight that I saw him in France, that first fight in France, I thought he was terrible. After that, when he fought in the Apex, I was like, oh, okay, I see this. This is nicer. After they said he had like an injury, he looks a lot nicer. So I don't want to shit on him too hard. He looks a lot nicer. This fight ended in a TKO, a weird TKO. We'll get to that in a second. In the third round, the first two rounds I gave to Gomis. In the first round, Gomis outstruck Ghemmouri by about 3 strikes. He outstruck him barely. They're pretty even up until that last sequence at the very end of the first round. In the second round, Gomis outstruck Ghemmouri pretty clear. And then in the third round, very interesting. Ghemmouri throws a leg kick, a kick to the body, and it hits the belt line. Now, it's weird, right? Because just to jump to the Saint-Denis fight, Saint-Denis versus Moises. Saint-Denis hits Moises kind of barely on the cup, and then the second time he hits him, it definitely doesn't hit the cup, but it rattles, it slaps, it's all this nonsense. No, it doesn't hit the cup. And there's just disputes. There's just weird disputes of Beltline cup, and this shit is getting annoying. But back to the Gomis fight. Gomis hits the belt. He hits the belt. And Ghemmouri basically hunches and signifies that he got hit low. But the ref does something that I actually like here. He does two things. One, something that I don't like, and something that I do like. He does the good thing, which is go on. I'm more mad at Gomis. It's insane how the ref's going to get probably shit for this, for not signifying, and what he should have done was probably step back and go, Gomis, go, keep fighting. But instead, Gomis, who, if you watch the entire fight, Gomis just isn't paying attention. I don't know what the fuck his head is at. He during clinch positions, he's looking over to his corner for advice. Now, I'll give some slack on that one. He's looking for advice on what to do. So that's whatever. But in this case, he hits him he hits him in the belt. Gomis hits Ghemmouri in the belt. And Gomis just, if you look at the replay, he just walks away because he assumes that the ref's just going to say, oh, it's a nut shot, and he moves away. I don't know why he doesn't just stand there and wait. And when the ref says, hey, just keep fighting, he's gone. He's walking. He's almost out of the arena. And so the ref is like, nah, he hit you right on the stomach. I'm going to call it. Instead of just kind of standing there and letting it play out. But it is what it is. It's a TKO. It's an unpleasant TKO. I think it hits on the belt line, which is legal, and this is a rightful TKO. But if you're of the mind that this hit below, then you're just thinking, this is a shitty stoppage. So that's whatever that is. All the judges had the same scorecard as me. We go to the fourth honorable mention, the fourth and last honorable mention. This is Fiorot versus Namajunas. I had this 30-27. You can put a close mark on the first round. I thought the first round was fairly even, very close, very, very, very close. You go to the first round, close on strikes. I give the edge to Fiorot. This is, in my opinion, this is the closest round you can give to Namajunas. This is the closest round you can give to Namajunas. The entire fight is basically, these guys they're whiffing. They're both missing on a lot of their shots, but occasionally Fiorot is landing more frequently on Namajunas, both via leg kicks and just getting outstruck, head strikes, by Fiorot. Or Fiorot's outstriking Namajunas. You go to the second round, Fiorot outstrikes Namajunas. It's a much wider margin at this point. And then in the fourth round, the same thing. There were these slips occasionally. Like I believe there was a round where it looks. I don't want to say looks, because when you're seeing it live, it doesn't look like she gets dropped, but she kind of falls down. Namajunas kind of falls down, gets back up. Same thing for Fiorot. Fiorot kind of falls down, slips, gets back up. I'm just glad that didn't get impacted into the scorecard. You go to the judges' scorecards, and you have Saul D'Amato. He has a 29-28. He gives the first two rounds to Fiorot, and then he gives the last round to Namajunas. Namajunas gets outstruck pretty clear in this round. Honorable mention to Saul D'Amato. That's a nonsense scorecard. Go to Anders Olsen. His scorecard reflects the same as Saul D'Amato. Honorable mentions to Anders Olsen, and then Daryl Ransom has a 30-27. This is the closest one, and then that's the correct scorecard. And that's all for the scorecards. Gane versus SpivaK. SpivaK basically pieced up. SpivaK was basically pieced up by Ciryl Gane. TKO in the second round. We know the next fight, and that's Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. That seems to be what'll be next, and this fight was great, given the fact that in my head I was thinking, man, what if SpivaK does take him down? But now, looking back at it, in hindsight, obviously, Gane is just stronger and bigger than SpivaK, and 10 times faster than him. So it just made sense. I was surprised that the odds were so low. Minus 160 is basically Vegas being scared. Vegas being so scared of what happened to him in his last fight that they were like, you know what, minus 160. That's a little. I don't like that. It's a little grimy. But again, this is all in hindsight, so I could see if you're a Vegas odds maker person, you're like, let's be safe here and minus 160 instead of putting it where it should be, which is probably minus 300. But that's all we have. Great night of fights. It was early for me, so I can do more things now. Thank you all for listening, and God bless.